go ahead and check this last Kizer knife right here. This is the Kizer Chill Pepper from Swag's Design. Right, that's very interesting right there. Take a look. This one is an S90V blade, so you already know this one's gonna be a premium one. You can sort of tell by the box, right? It's a different sort of style Kizer box right here. It's gonna be black with the Toxic Storm and button lock. All right, it's a 3.02 inch size. And without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. I got the kind of the Kizer Lion going on right there. That's their premium sort of unboxing experience. It has the magnets, kind of dual door, sort of close to it. I don't know what other way to put it. And let's see here. First things first, we have the Kizer instructions, right, or warranty information, and the wiping cloth right there from Kizer. Pretty standard stuff. Right, here you go. You can pause the video if you like. Enjoy that 4K resolution and read through that if you want. Next thing, we have the knife itself in the pouch. We also have some spare hardware. It looks like some additional thumb studs. That's pretty neat. And some additional screws. Some are round, some are flat. And of course, last but not least, we got the Kizer sticker going on there. Action for Dream. All right, take a look at that. 2024. And without further ado, that's everything in the box. Let's take a look here, right? Got a Velcro, nice little fabric pouch, the knife inside. And let's take a look. Bam. All right. First impressions, right? We got the, what do they call it? We got the Toxic Storm. Is what they call this carbon fiber, right? Combination here. Again, this is a Chinese sort of version of fat carbon, right? If you're familiar with that. And again, this one has a combination of black, green, dark green, yellow, right? Kind of pops really nice. So it definitely carries that whole toxic aesthetic, if you would. That being said, we have green thumb studs on this one. That's why black thumb studs were included in the package. So if you don't really dig these, you can swap them out for the black ones. It is a button lock. We have a front flipper. It looks like we can also deploy with thumb studs and reverse flick as well. So yeah, let's just get into it here. We got a pocket clip, which is deep carry, and it is reversible. All right, so there we go. All right, ambidextrous knife. We got the reversible clip. All right, I'm seeing that more and more. If it's a crossbar lock or a button lock, I definitely see reversible clips, which is good. For whatever reason, with frame locks and liner locks, I'm not seeing reversible clips all that much. And that's not just Kizer, that's just other companies as well. But here we go. Let's go ahead and get this thing open here, shall we? Bam. This one is the chill pepper, right? Not the, well, chili pepper. There we go. Swag's Design. It has the name, model name, and designer right there on the blade. Also has 284. I'm not sure what 284 is all about, but it is S90V. Believe it or not, this is printed on here, S90V steel, Kizer logo on this side, and it is black coated. Now, it doesn't have any indications that this is anything specific like DLC or Cerakote or anything like that. So I'm just assuming it's just a black coat right there on the blade. And other than that, it kind of matches the aesthetics. The liners are also black, right? They are proud liners that you can see. It has a sandwich construction with one standoff back here, all right? And there's lots of holes, circle holes in those liners for weight reduction. I'm not sure if you guys can see it right there. All right, there you go. And also from right here, this angle, right? So yeah, button lock, let's see. Okay, ball bearings, right? Good action. Nice and smooth. I can tell this one hasn't been broken in yet. Right, we got a traditional sort of plunge lock, button lock going on here. There's your stop pin right there. And yeah, the button is nice and kind of tucked in into this nice little concaved in section. And when it snaps out, it's actually not that proud or tall, so it's nice and flush even then. So that's a pretty well execution. So so deploying the knife here with the button, that's pretty neat, very effortless. So that's one deployment option right there. If you know me, right, I love a knife with multiple deployment options. That's just my style. So that's definitely what we got going on here. Right, button is solid. Let's test the front flipper. Ooh, you guys hear that? That is one solid front flipper right there. And they did it right? They have jimping going on all the way from here, all the way on the spine of the blade, even wraps around the front flipper all the way to right there, right? So that is the way to go, because then you can Reach around, no issue, right? I love the acoustics, by the way. Kind of has a little like solid opening sound. So reach around feels good. You might even want to do the side of the index finger. Yeah, that works just as good. Of course, I would jinx myself. There we go, right? It takes a little bit of getting used to. But again, that jimping works. We got the fine jimping going on there. And of course, we got the thumb studs, right? Thumb studs work really good. And that reverse flick, same deal. Except you can't flip it with your fingernail. You're going to have to use the meat of your middle finger there in that case. But it works just as good. And there we go. Not my preferred way to reverse flick. If you know me, I love to reverse flick with the actual fingernail instead if I can. Ooh, did I just do it? I think I just did it. Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Look at that. With the nail right there on the middle finger, and bam. So yeah, you actually can on this one do that reverse flick with the nail instead. Oh, now we're talking, right? Now we are talking. That is a more preferred way, in my opinion, to reverse flick instead of using the meat of your finger. So, I mean, all kinds of deployment options going on with this one, you guys. You can use the button, you can use the front flipper, thumb stud, reverse flick, reach around. I mean, everything is here. You just low roll it, right, off of the thumb stud, off of the front flipper. It is completely up to you. So very, very fidgety knife, to say the least. So we're already starting off great so far. By the way, the carbon fiber here feels really good, right? Nice and contour all around. Feels great. As far as ergonomics, right? Let's get a feel for ergonomics. Your default grip is going to be right around this curvature right there. That's where your index finger is going to go. All other fingers follow suit. And again, I have average hands, not the biggest, not the smallest. And I'm able to get a good purchase right there. Also, there's a section on here right before the corner of the edge, which you can use to forward choke if you wanted to. So that's also pretty neat that you can do that. And again, I love that the jimping runs all the way to up here. So that gives you enough room to grip here, 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 whatever you want, right? And get some work done. So this one, I would say it feels like a straight back. It kind of almost looks like a straight back, but it is sort of like a trailing point, right? Like a tiny bit, just a hair of Persian, right? Nothing crazy, but just a hair bit of, you know, trailing point up there, if anything. So that's interesting. You have a little bit of, you know, quite a bit of belly here. Oof, and that S90V is nice and sharp. We have a flat grind going on, right, on that blade. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get some size comparisons. Lastly, let me get a feel for the clip. Okay, the clip. Okay, the clip is pretty good, right? It doesn't really get in the way as much. Maybe this back end section, right, because it is a little bit wider and the handle sort of, you know, comes to like a narrow, you know, end. That might be the only thing that I feel as much, but not too bad. Maybe like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. And, you know, I guess you would have to be intentional about, oh, there's a button, let me press it so I can disengage the knife on myself. Now, why would you do that? Don't do that. No, so, I mean, there's always, you know, the people saying, oh, you know, do you have a button lock? What if you press the button accidentally while you're cutting stuff? Like, honestly, it's nice and recessed. So for me, like, I have to be, you know, silly enough to be like, oh, okay, let me just press it. Click. Right, so don't do that. If you're lefty, you're good to go because, you know, you're nowhere near the button at any time, right? So even if you forward choke, I mean, you still have a good distance there. So that is pretty solid right there on the chili pepper from Kizer. Let's compare here to some of the other Kizer models that drop around the same time. That one is the Comet, and this one is the Feist. The Feast. So yeah, I mean, you got some similarities on these two, but this one is a clip point. This one trails up. This one is more Warncliffe style. These two are liner locks. This one is a button lock, micarta and titanium, micarta only. And then we got the carbon fiber going on the chili pepper, right? So take a look. And honestly, it's kind of funny because I can see it now, right? This whole section right here kind of looks like an actual chili pepper, right? Which is, you know, like a jalapeno or something like that. You know, if you think about it, right, jalapenos kind of drop into this like kind of pointy round end. So now, now that I'm actually looking at it, I'm like, yep, it definitely looks like a chili pepper. I see what's going on there. So that's interesting. I always love knives that have a specific name, and in a way the design sort of complements that name too. So the two kind of go along there. So that's pretty neat. Speaking of Persian knives, here's the QSP Walrus. And this one, of course, also has a little bit of a trailing point right there. This one is the Otter, right? Just wanted to sort of compare here. The chili pepper is going to be a little bit bigger than the Otter, but smaller than the Walrus. Now let's just do some more of the standard ones here in the channel. The PM2, the Para 3, right? So if anything, actually shorter than the Para 3, but very comparable, right? Not off by that much. The PM2 obviously is going to be a bigger knife. Here's your Demko AD 20.5 and the Shark Cub. The AD 20.5 actually matches to the chili pepper there quite well. So I would say they're more or less on the same ballpark, whereas the Shark Cub is going to be a little bit shorter. Here's the Civivi Vision FG and the Sentinel Strike. These obviously are much larger knives, with the Sentinel Strike taking the cake right there. But again, at least I want to give you some different options so you can sort of compare in case you own any of these other knives. And last but not least, the Raccoon and the Pyrite. Okay, so very close to the Pyrite, but still a little bit shorter. Obviously, definitely shorter than the Raccoon. But again, just a ballpark idea, all right? So you know more or less where the chili pepper lands. Again, I see the chili pepper right here in the handle, which is very, very interesting, especially when it's folded too, right? You can see the chili pepper sort of, you know, outline going on. That's pretty neat. So let's do our very scientific cutting test. Of course, that consists of cutting a little bit of paper and cardboard. So let's see, F9EV. Ooh, some swirls are coming right off of the paper. Check that thing out. See, look at that. So some beautiful swirls, right? It has a pretty bitey edge, to say the least. All right, so going through with that flat grind. Ooh, yes. Oops, what happened there? Let me get a good initial bite. There we go. So we know it's going to cut paper all day, every day. What about some cardboard? I have some Amazon cardboard right here. And this one is single wall cardboard. So remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, rather at an angle like this. And so I'm going to go a little bit lower first, and then I'm going to do it a little bit faster. But yeah, that was pretty effortless, you guys. I'm not sure if the camera's doing it justice. But yeah, pretty good working edge here. S9EV, right? Flat grind, putting in work. This guy is sharp. Now, this is a factory edge. And by the way, no dings or nothing on that edge of any kind. It is a factory edge, but it has already seen some use, right? So it's not like it's brand new out of the box or anything, right? It has already been seeing some use from the other YouTubers of the knife pass around. So surprised that it's still, you know, still holding pretty good, right? Pretty sharp. But you guys rate it in the comments for me on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? Of course, 10 being the sharpest. I was going to say, so the standard grip feels really good. Again, this sort of curvature on the handle definitely helps with ergonomics. Now, if I do the reverse flick, believe it or not, that still feels very good, right, for cutting straps and things like that. What about that Friday night gas station grip, fighting for your Slurpee if you're Kevin? That's pretty good too, right? Kind of works here for this grip. Now, the Pakal grip, that's where it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable right there for sure. Right, but otherwise, all the other grips, you know, work pretty good. Yeah, there's definitely no doubt about that. So, and again, this is going to be a very, very fidgety one. I'm excited to carry this one, put it in the pocket, start just carrying it right away. But you guys know the drill by now. I'm going to be carrying this guy for some time, try to gather as much feedback as I possibly can, and drop a comprehensive review video here on the channel in the very near future. Of course, this was just an unboxing, first reactions, impressions video on the knife, and this guy will be linked down below. So if you're interested in picking yourself up one of these, they will be linked down below. So not entirely sure on price, but by the time you're watching this video, obviously I would have looked them up. They would all be linked in the description and pinned comments. You know, there should be some different, I'm really hoping there's some different variants, right, for the carbon fiber. I mean, not that this one is, there's anything wrong with it. I really dig this toxic carbon fiber finish to it, but I'm sure there are some other varieties out there as well. pretty much. And, you know, it's kind of, you know, got some premium materials, right? The carbon fiber, the S9 EV. But if there's anything that Kizer does is they give their knives a very reasonable price. Either way, guys, if you made it to the end, you are the real MVP. If you found value out of this video, smashing that like button really goes a long way. If you like knife and EDC content like this on a daily basis, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I promise you it'll be worth coming back for more. And if you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link for Patreon in the description and pinned comments, or you can simply support the channel right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Check out the unboxing on the Feist. The Feist from Kizer and the Comet right here, right? Put a video card on your left and right side of your screen. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for your love and support. And I'll catch you guys on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.